Welcome back to digital class, and now we're looking at a new different concept, and that is actually the second concept that we'll be learning in this booklet. Is called the repeated identity concept. What does it mean by repeated identity? It means that repeated here basically means that it appears again. It appears again. And identity means that we're referring to something, okay? It means that something is actually appear again. So you'll be seeing this question later on that there are something that appears again, okay? And this perhaps, although we have a separate concept called repeated identity, but the concept, the idea of something is repeating again is actually throughout all the word problems, actually almost all word problems, okay? So something appear again, and these two things supposed to be the same. Okay, let's look at some of these questions here. So when you look at this question, you see, teacher, what is this 3.5? What is this 2.5? Now, what you are seeing here is actually called the ratio. Now, some of you might be a bit questioning, teacher, we never really learned ratio yet. Why are you giving us this question? Now, this question or this ratio idea is something that although is not officially introduced to you yet, but we have been doing something like this for all the long time. So for example, if I say A's height, I have A height is twice B's height. Okay, let me just make it simple a bit. A height is twice of B height. So who is taller? I know A is taller, right? Because A is twice of B. That means that if B is 1 unit, what is A? All of you able to answer me is 2 unit. Why? Because it is twice. Twice means double, right? So if B is 1 unit, A is 2 unit. Okay? So with that in mind, this is what we have learned, and this is actually exactly what we call it as the ratio as well. Why? So A to B is actually 2 to 1. So if you see something like this 3, 5, or maybe 2, 1, that basically means that the ratio here is, the unit here is 2, the unit here is 1. Okay? Teacher, then why don't we write here 2 unit, 1 unit? Yes, you can write, but ratio, we are a bit lazy, we don't write the U here. Okay? We know that 2 is not exactly the height. We know 1 is not exactly the height, but it is the ratio or the unit of 2 and the unit of 1. Okay? With that in mind, I hope you actually get some idea. Let me give you another example. If I say A's example height again, okay, I show you C and D just in case you're not confused. Okay, example, I have C. C's height is 2/3 of D's height. Now you see C's height is 2/3 of D's height. In that case, teacher, what do you do? What do we do? Now, remember, in this case, this 2 is referring to C's height, and this 3 is referring to D height. So in this case, C's height will be 2 unit, D's height will be 3 unit. Now, this is something I've actually mentioned in class before, but what I want to share with you is that actually also tell you C to D is 2 to 3. Correct, because C is 2 unit, right? So it's 2. D is 3 units, so it's 3. But again, these 2 and 3 does not mean it's actually the exact height. C is not like 2 cm or 2 meter. D is not like 3 cm or 3 meter. It's actually the ratio. It's just the unit. Okay? Are you still alive? Now, let's look at the example here. Some lorries, some cars, some vans are seen in the car park. So now I have lorries, I have cars, I have vans. Now, I'll just use the ratio, okay? Now, we have learned about ratio, right? It's the same thing as a unit. Now, the ratio of lorry to car is 3 to 5. So now I know here is 3 to 5 unit. So this is 3 unit, this is 5 unit. The ratio of this car to van is 2 to 1. So this is 2, this is 1. Now, remember one very important idea here. This car here say is 5 unit. This car here say is 2 unit. Now, are we referring to the same number of cars? Yes. Then why is these two numbers are different? these two numbers are different because we are comparing to different items. Okay, so these two actually are supposed to be the same, but they are not the same. So we are supposed to make it the same by looking for LCM. So again, in a situation where they're supposed to be the same, but they are not the same, so you are supposed to make it the same by looking for LCM. So what is LCM of 2 and 5? If you want, you can just try to list out. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, blah, 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 blah. 5 is what? 5, 10, 15, 20, blah, 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 blah. So what is the lowest common multiple? In this case, obviously is 10. So I know it's 10. Means that I need to make this 5 to become 10. How do I make it become 10? Times 2. Then if I times 2 here, I will also need to times 2 here because they are actually comparing each other, right? 3 and 5. So I need to times 2 here. These two, I need to times 5 to become 10. And if I times 5 here, I need to times 5 here as well. And with that, I know the new ratio or the new unit that I have, it will be 3 times 2, 6. 6 unit. 5 times 2, 10. Here 10. Means that we are now actually referring to the same unit. 10. And 1 times 5 is 5. Now I know lorries is with the 6 unit, cars is with 10 unit, and vans are with 5 unit. Now, one thing that I would like to clarify a bit. 5 times 2 I know is 10, 2 times 5 I know is 10. Some of the students might thought that I need to add them together to become 20. No. You do not add them together. What I'm doing here is to make sure that I make it the same so that when I compare the ratio, it's actually the same. So do not edit them together. So in conclusion, find the ratios of the lorries, cars, and van. Again, lorry, car, and van is in the right sequence. That's why the answer here will be 6, 10, 5. Teacher, if I want to write you can or not? Now, if they use the word ratio, then just don't write lah. Okay, just 6, 10, 5. Because this is the official way, or this is the right way of actually to write 6, 10, 5 when we talk about ratio. Okay? So with that in mind, I hope you get some of the ideas here done. How do you compare? How do you make it the same? And that's why this is called repeated identity. Something appears again. The identity of car actually appears twice, but they are not the same. So we make it the same by looking for LCM. Now, with that, let's look at the second example here. Now, if you feel tired, pause the video and think before you move on. But if you need another example to help you to understand it clearly, let's move on together. Now, here says what? Here says that the volume of milk in glass A and the volume of milk in glass B is 1 to 5. So I know what? I know A, I know B. And the unit is 1 unit, 5 unit. Next, the ratio of the volume of milk in B to C is 3 to 2. Now, I have another C, but this B, now I was given 3. But this C, I was given 2. This identity of B is being repeated. So, these two, I'm referring to the same volume of milk in glass B. But why is it different? It is different because I'm comparing to a different thing. This one I compare to A, this one I compare to B. That's why it's different. But these two are actually supposed to be the same, but they are not the same. So you are supposed to make it the same by looking for LCM. Again, you should find out what is the LCM of 3 and 5. And after doing more questions like this, you know immediately it's 15 already. Okay, so 5 times what? 5 times 3. If you times 3 here, we times 3 here. 3 times what? 3 times 5. And if you times 5 here, we times 5 here. And with that, what is our new ratio? 3. Again, I'm making them to become 15, so here is only 15. Do not add them together. Then 2 times 5 will be 10. So in that case, I now know is 3 to 15 to 10. That will be my new ratio. Now, let's continue read the question. given that there are 980 ml of milk in 3 glasses altogether, means the total is 980. So the total here is actually 980. So 3 plus 15 plus 10, how is it possible to be 980? So this is because actually it's unit. So it'll be 3 plus 15 plus 10. So it is actually 28 unit. And now I can write unit. So 8 unit is 980. If 28 unit is 980, then just find out 1 unit is what? It's 35. Now this is something that you're used to it. You know how to do this. But now the question now is asking, how much milk is there in glass A? A is how many unit? Don't tell me 1, okay? Now we are referring to the new unit already. It's what? 3. That's why we find out if 1 unit is 35, then 3 unit is what? 3 times 35, and I know the answer is 105 ml. Then we are done for this part. Okay, so I hope that with that you're actually able to understand this repeated identity well. But again, I just want to remind you again the concept of these two are supposed to be the same, but they're not the same. So you're supposed to make it the same by looking for LCM. This is actually the same idea throughout across all the word problem later on. So better know this, and thank you. See you. Bye bye.